Hey, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are out there.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is March 30th, 2020. We're going to write a little bit of code today, and we've got a guest. It's another coffee stream. There's some developers here in the stream. Hello, thank you so much for the follow. Yodami, welcome in. Yodami? I hope I pronounced that correctly. Good morning. There's Engstrom Jimmy. Kayla's here. Hello. Sydney. Alex. We're going to bring Alex on in just a minute. I want to talk a little bit first, and then we'll get into a little bit of our coffee project today. CTI Geek. This music makes you want to dance like Napoleon Dynamite. Okay. I might have done a little bit of that when I was testing the music before I purchased it, while I was walking the dog, and folks in the neighborhood looked at me kind of funny. It's true. Hardware Guy is here. Hello. Death Knight. Like Toby Keith said, a little less talk and a lot more coding. Yes, we're going to do a lot of that today. Marcus Voice, programmer, good day to you. So today's a Madrinas stream. We're going to have Alex Davis join us in a little bit, and we're going to continue a little bit of what we were talking about with machine learning throughout the stream. I did a little bit of research, a little bit of practice before this, but I wanted to spend more time this time going through and learning, figuring out and trying to put some pieces together as we write some code together, and we look at different ways that we can kind of help Madrinas identify and look at some things around coffee and what's going on out on the web. Kelly28, good morning to you. Curious Drive, hello, good morning. Yes. Well, let me jump into the meeting room over here. And we can start to get things set up over here on Discord, so that we can hang out together. I've got, of course, my vanilla cappuccino Madrinas set up here.
What's up, friend?
Hey, there we go. Good morning. How's it going?
How you doing, man?
Oh, you know what? I'm doing well.
Ancient Coder just resubscribed.
There's Ancient
Coder.
You're probably doing amazing because you got that vanilla cap now.
Oh my gosh! You know what? You wake up in the morning, get started with a little bit of vanilla cap. This has been my go-to, the vanilla cap.
It is, I think, when I hear feedback, it is the one that I think is our most addicting.
Addicting.
It is. Our mocha is our best seller because people love chocolate.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, I think the one you're drinking right now, because it's got such a nice blend of that coffee forward flavor and that sort of sweet, crisp touch. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. So I think it's the one that gets people most addicted to our coffee.
Oh, very cool. So we spent some time about a month ago. It's so good to talk to you again, Alex. And
oh, heck yeah, man.
We spent some time about a month ago talking about sentiment on
Analysis,
Twitter.
Exactly.
And that was so cool to see the different things people were saying on Twitter. I wanted to take that and spin it just a little bit further, because we were getting pictures back from folks that were posting on Twitter. I was thinking, what if we used a little bit of image recognition and actually see if the pictures that people are posting actually have the product in them? And then we can
you're able to ID that, right? It's not just a logo thing. It's more about the can and just the whole likeness.
So let's dig into that a little bit. We'll take a look. There's some services, there's some things we can use here to identify that, and I think we can make this kind of interesting.
Dope. And guys, as a heads up, anybody that's hanging out with Fritz, I'm Alex. I'm with Madrinas Coffee.
There you go.
Very proud coffee partner for Fritz and this amazing community. Guys, we're just wanting to come and hang out. Fritz was telling us about this image ID project.
Yeah.
It sounded amazingly interesting. Compounding on the work we did last month with the sentiment analysis on Twitter, which was so cool to see, man. Thank you for building that, by the way. That's a really awesome tool that you were able to develop.
Simple, but and just gets a little bit of more information over to your folks.
Oh, of course. And then as a way of celebrating the time when we get to come and hang out, guys, we have a giveaway going on now. Do we have it set up with a code ! Giveaway? I think. Or maybe not. If not, Kayla has it. If not, we can just. Kayla can probably pop the link in the chat. We have a giveaway going on.
Yep.
We want to give any of you guys a chance to win some free Madrinas. All you got to do is just click the link and then sign up for a few things like follow Madrinas on Twitter, or follow Fritz on Twitter, stuff like that. So
there's a timer that'll pop up, and I also have there's a link in the panels just below us here on Twitch that you can click into that says Madrinas giveaway. Click there, fill out a little bit of information, and off you go. You'll be entered into the drawing. So, there's a couple different things that I was looking at about this. Yes, and the coffee command is active there as well. So you can get, you know what, that should say 20% off is the offer now. We'll update that later. So, there it is. Use that code, you'll get 20% off. It still says 40. I haven't changed it back. So we had built a bit using a technology called ML.net. Let me go over to the code over here. Here we go. I'm going to be working in Visual Studio today, working with .NET Core. So this is code that can run on any machine, not just Windows, not just run it on Mac, run it on Linux. And we had written some code using ML.net last month, and I saved it out there on GitHub. It's over here in this Madrinas sentiment project we're working on. And we even put together this very simple Power BI dashboard so we could see a little bit of the sentiment that we had retrieved from Twitter talking about Madrinas coffee.
Right.
But wouldn't it, this next step of, well, can we identify the product? Can we actually tell it, well, here's what Madrinas looks like when you bring back information out there. So I started with, in order to do anything with these machine learning bits, you need to actually start with some context. You need to train a model, right? My goodness, thank you for the follows coming in here. This is really great. Appreciate all of our new friends following here. My gosh, Steve's going off here. So ML.net has this really complex way to train. I think I'm getting follow bombed.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've been shouting out your channel.
Fantastic!
I'm sending a lot of homies over to come say hi and give you a follow.
Well, thank you. Oh my goodness.
Of course. Cheers, man. Cheers.
Absolutely.
Good morning.
Yes. So ML.net has this really complex model where you need to load up all of these. I'm going to pull Steve's volume back there a little bit, where you can load up all these images so that it knows how to identify it. So you need to go out and you need to get a lot of images about whatever it is you want to detect. So I did a little bit of research on the topic, and this might come as a surprise. I'm sure it's not going to come as a surprise to you, Alex. But when I did a search for Madrinas coffee and told it go find all the images, you got a lot of pictures of cans out here.
There's a lot of cans, man. There's a lot of cans. There's a lot of historical images, too, from like a long time ago or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what I did was I went and I grabbed about 15, 20 different images, and I saved them off here so we had something as kind of a bank to start from. So if you take a look, let me pop up the image size there. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, all of our new friends following. So I've got all these images of the various coffee cans that I've downloaded so we can train the machine how to identify a Madrinas can. So this is just a first step, is identifying, well, here's what the product looks like. Now, I know we've got other product out there that's in the cases that we could grab. There's even a Shroud can over here, right? So it was like, and I could even grab the logo and we could go after that. But I thought, you know what, let's start with just images of the cans. The next step that I wanted to look at was, well, what do I have available to me in the vision detection? That's not the right one. Over here, in the vision detection libraries that ship with ML.net. And there's a couple different things here. You can do image classification where you actually say, well, this is what this image is, right? So I could have it identify, right? We've seen the Silicon Valley show, and they had that hot dog, no hot dog gag that they did, right, where it was a picture of a hot dog or it was a picture of a hamburger, and it knew the difference between the two. Not cinnamon roll. Big deal. That's not what I want to do. I want to identify, right, there's a Madrinas product in this picture. So this doesn't really work. The other sample that they had here was classifying images, where it has, well, here's a couple different pictures, pizza, a teddy bear, and that looks like a toaster on the end. And to be able to classify and say, oh yeah, that's food or a toy or an appliance. That's not what we want to do either. The last thing that I was looking at was right here, detect objects and images. And this uses a technology called Onyx, ONNX. And there's this huge library out there of pre-trained models that knows, check this out. It knows that's a dog. Okay, it's a pug. I get it. But it generates this cool image over here where you can put boxes around, well, these are people and these are dogs. That's what I want to be able to do, right? I want to be able to grab somebody's picture when somebody's on Twitter and says, oh my gosh, I got my Madrinas shipment, and they're holding up a can, and be able to verify, yes, they're holding up a can of Madrinas and they're not holding up Folgers or something and trying to pull a fast one. So this is where I wanted to go with this. Here's the problem that I ran into with doing this with ML.net. Building a deep learning model for this takes a lot of processing, takes a bit of time, and I'm not quite sure how to run it through here and generate this using the tools that we have here on our desktop. So I looked at, well, you can also do this with the custom vision service on Azure. This looks really cool. We're not going to use ML.net for this part. We already use ML.net to get the sentiment. But what we're able to do is upload a series of images and train it. This is what these images are. And then point it at other images and say, okay, go find those things in this image. So that's what I'm going to look at here today is how do we use this? How can we use this to build and detect images? And some other folks have written some nice little tutorials out here that show here's how you go through. That's the ML.net one. So I thought we would go through and take a look at just pulling this together, how we can use the custom vision tool here to load up and analyze images.
And is it set up the same way as when you built the sentiment analysis tool, that it actually gets smarter? Like you can go in and like tell it, like go in and say this is right, this is wrong, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So this is, I believe it's at Custom Vision AI, and we can sign in here. I'm going to sign in and create a service. Now we're getting into the live coding part of this that I normally do, because I've researched and figured, yes, we can do this. All right. So, nope, I'm logged in with the wrong account. I don't want to be that account. I want to be, sign out of this one. Come on. Yes, I know we have. Go into private browser mode. Where was it? Custom Vision AI. There we go. Yep, sign in. And I want to use this account. Cool. There we go. Yes. Is only available with I'm using, I have so many accounts. It's ridiculous. One more time. Yes, sign in. And this one. So I want to train this.
Yeah.
With those images that I downloaded, because I just laid them out on disk.
So is this a different program than you used before? Like why? Like completely different?
So this is hosted in the cloud. So so this is Microsoft Azure, and it's going to we're going to create a new project here. It's going to use all the big machines that are hanging out there to analyze images as quickly as it can and report back information about what it finds for us. So I'm going to call this Madrinas product identifier. Let's call it that. Identify coffee cans in images. So let's create a new resource somewhere for this to live, and I'm going to call this Madrinas. We'll put this we'll put it over there. Create a new resource group. Yep. Sure, South Central US. That's actually, I think it's in Houston is where that is. Come on. This is Cognitive Services. That's where it's located. Come on. I told you to create a new one. Where'd it go? I like to name things similarly when I create these resource groups. That way I know where to go and delete them when we're done with them afterwards. So
yeah.
Right, so we're going to run this test. We'll go through and we figure out what this is. We can deploy it, push it other places. Lucky number 7 is here. Good to see you. Unhip Coder, hello, hello. Rice and P. Roy, welcome. All right. So creating the project types. We're going to do object detection. Domains. We're going to look for a logo is what we're going to do. Not products on shelves. I think that's what we want as a logo. Let's create the project. See what happens here.
And then as a heads up to everybody in the chat, I know we have the giveaway going on right now. The link is in the chat. You guys can go sign up. Make sure you're entered to win free Madrinas coffee. Oh, yeah. You can also use Fritz's code at checkout. Just code Fritz and you'll get 20% off your order.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So don't have any images. So now we need to upload. We need to train it, teach it about some images. So I'm going to add images and go to that library that I put together. So I've got 23 images of various cans. I'm just going to grab all of them and it should add them all at once. There we go. Yep, upload 23. All right, so we've got 23.
Do you know is that all of our flavors, or will you need all of them?
I think we have. I think I was able to grab most of them. Thank you for the sub. I think let's take a quick peek through it. So that's the. Which one is that? That's the cold brew with milk. That's okay. Cold brew black, the caramel dark roast. You know what? I don't think I have. You know which one I don't? I don't have the one I'm drinking, the vanilla cappuccino.
So if you wanted to pull them directly from the website, that's also a thing.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, let's do that.
You know what I mean? Like our product listing will have the images down. Because the two that I don't see are vanilla cap and the dark roast.
Okay. Let's see if I can grab those real quick. The starter packs. Yeah, I want to get each one of those individually.
So head up to on the navigation on the top left, the shop button.
Yeah, there we go. And can I get just a picture of just the can? There we go. That's the back of it. You know what? Let's grab this one and do a little snippet here real quick. So we can grab just... Right, because I want to try and find it almost like a label, you know?
What was that?
I want to find it almost like a label.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Right, like this is kind of what we're looking for, and what I'm going to do after, let's just call this vanilla cap. There we go. And the other one was the dark roast. There it is. This one, and we'll grab the snip. Cool. All right, so, hey, thank you for the follow. You can't take it anymore in the house, send help. Oh no, Shlomo. You know, thank you, Svava, for the cheer.
Cabin fever, man.
You know what? And it's nice to be able to have a case of coffee delivered to the house, right?
And that's the thing is like, you never know how. I'm not a doom and gloom. I'm pretty optimistic that I think that we're going to be able to get back to normal just as soon as possible. However, when it comes to just like behavior, you never know how many people are going to now just be like, hey, I think now I'm just going to start adopting practices of, getting stuff sent to my house versus, being exposed more out into the world, because you never know about anything. So yeah. If anybody is looking to have that specialty coffee or that specialty cold brew shipped directly to them, right now more than ever is the best time to do it. We can send it right to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It comes very quickly. So, all right. Now I have all the images. So show all untagged images. Well, how do I tag it? What does tagging images do for me here? Right. Create a new tag. You will use tags to organize and search your images. Fantastic. So let's see. What if we create a tag called caramel? Maybe we can identify these individually as well. So to create an object, hover and select the region. All right, so what happens if I grab that? And we'll call that caramel. All right. Cool. And we can go through and start labeling these. There's another caramel, so we'll do the same thing. All right. Let's see. So the idea here is, right, we're actually teaching the machine what these various products are. Let me see where there's another one. Bring this back. There we go. Where else? Those are cafe mocha, vanilla. Fantastic. All right. So maybe we can create a mocha tag as well, just to get this moving, so that it identifies. Thank you for the follow. Let's see here. Dark roast. And I'm not going to label all of them, but I'm going to just make sure we have a little bit to get started, right? Shoot. Clicked out of the box. All right, cool. Oh, there's another. Did I not label that one? Oh, that's vanilla. That's why. Okay, cool. So I've got a selection of images that it knows how to identify. So if I train this, right? Let's just do a quick training. Quick will help us test and figure it out. Advanced training will get into some more augmented settings. Cool. Yeah, let's just give this a shot and see what we come up with. How's it going there, chat room? You don't drink tea? No, that's right. Drink coffee.
Use their full name.
Absolutely.
Use chat room.
Yeah, chat and room. That's it.
Yeah, use the full name.
I need at least 15 images for every tag, it says. Okay. So you know what? I don't have enough for all of them. So what
15 images for each. What? I guess our cans are kind of different color and different everything. So it's not going to be able to pick up one versus the other.
Yeah. So let's do this. I can go through and tag a bunch of these real quick. Right. And because I started tagging these with each one of the product names. So if I go through and just start adding, can I add another tag here? Duplicate region. And no. There we go. And just start tagging things as just Madrinas. So we can point this at another image and say, oh yeah, that's Madrinas.
Okay.
Next, this, delete that, add that.
So if you were to put this on like a sophistication scale, as well as the sentiment analysis, how educated into this into development with this program do you need to be in order to do something like this?
You know what, I feel like isn't overly sophisticated. I feel like, right, what we're doing at this point, this is something that, gosh, anybody can pick up and say, well, here's a bunch of images of things that I want to be able to classify. I want to be able to identify. It's those next pieces where we're going to get a little bit trickier, where we say, okay, now let's go and actually start pointing this at other data sources. Like, we should be able to point to some images here. Let me finish loading these up. I pushed that right outside of it, and it kind of forgets. But right when we start applying this and saying, how do we get other images? Right, those images that we actually want to test and inspect. That's where I think it's going to be a little bit interesting to be able to say, well, we're going to get those and feed them into the machine. There's a window here that we can actually drop an image into, and it'll report back what it sees. I think this might be the same image. Right, so I mean, just drag and drop into a box that says, oh, we'll identify what this is. And if we dropped a Coca-Cola can in there, make sure it doesn't come back and say, oh yeah, that's Madrinas. And maybe that's part of this testing that we do as well, is we add some training that says, well, these aren't Madrinas cans. This is a Pepsi can. This is all kinds of different things. Just to teach it that what isn't what we're looking for, right? We got to teach the negative as well. So,
teach the negative?
Right. You have to teach it what it isn't. right? So if we're giving it images that say these are what Madrinas products look like, okay, well, what don't Madrinas products look like?
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
So it has something to compare against.
But like that universe of things seems like it could be very large.
Huge. So that's
like
why
it's very much, it's easy to say what it is. It's cold brew coffee. It's hard to say everything it's not.
Exactly.
It's not a football.
Right. So drop in a picture of a football. Well, that's not Madrinas.
Yeah.
So let's.
You don't actually have to. I mean, I guess we're gonna get there, and I'm gonna watch you do it. That's crazy to me to sound like you have to program it to teach it what it's not.
Well, I don't think we're gonna need to give it too much, and that's a little bit of what I'm relying on the cloud here for.
Okay.
Is that it does have some information as to what that is. So now,
Gotcha.
Look at this. It's actually identified the text areas on the label.
Oh, wow.
And it's saying, oh, I know this is a thing over here. I know what this is.
And is this a program that anybody that can access? This is just, you just got to download it and buy it, and then
this is a service online called Custom Vision AI, free for anybody to set up, and you can run through. I think they were saying when I was looking at the website, you can run 2 tests per second, and there's like an hour of machine learning time that you have available to you over the course of a day or a month. That's you can just run and inspect things. So. Curious Drive asks along that question, how much data can you upload on the free tier? Let me just bring that up. What is it? Custom Vision, Azure, right? Because part of this is, well, this is nice. How much does it cost? Is always the killer question with this stuff. I was looking at it and I was like, wait a sec. Free, I can do 2 transactions per second. I can load 5,000 training images and make 10,000 predictions per month. And train for up to 1 hour per month for free. Okay. And then the standard pricing, it costs $2 per 1,000 transactions. So each time you tell me what you ask it, what's this thing? Investigate and tell me what this image is. $20 per compute hour, or you can upload 70 cents per 1,000 images. That's a lot of storage, and I think it doesn't exactly say how much storage you get on the free. That's interesting. But you know what? For what we're doing, we've got less than 5,000 images. So, and we could certainly have pictures of folks drinking coffee that we could analyze and say, oh yeah, there's the cans in that picture and image, and say that's the region of it. So 5,000 even for big images. It doesn't say the image size here, Curious Drive. So, hey, Kabazi, I started looking at ML.net and using Onyx with that, and it was a little bit more training than I needed to. So, for what we're trying to do here, I think this is going to be a better solution for this quick analysis that we're going to do. I think I want to skip this one, and actually, I think that's the last image. Fantastic. So I do have enough tagged images there. Now, if I say quick training. Let me turn off the other tags. I'll get rid of those. So, we can expand this, of course, in the future, add other things for it to detect. So there we go. And we could even have it identify the logo. Now, we'll figure that out later. So, all right, try this again. Training, so it knows what this is. So now,
there's an image cap, is kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. We've captured these images, and I want to do a search against on Twitter for Madrinas Coffee, see if we find pictures of other folks. I saw a picture just before we started here, somebody holding up and drinking from a can. See if we can get this to identify the product in the image, and if it can, then we can wire it up to the project we were doing last time and start getting it to put those 2 pieces together. So now we've got the sentiment. Well, wait, this person's unhappy, and they've got a picture, and they don't have the product in the picture. All right, now we know. Of course they're not happy. They don't have the product. We can do these types of discussions. So, let's see here. Thank you so much for the follow. My gosh, all the follows coming through. This is great. Thank you so much, friends.
Hell yeah.
And I'm overdue for a sticker giveaway that we do here in chat.
Oh, what's the sticker?
So it's more than just a sticker. So I have a bunch of different emotes here in channel. And did I bring the stickers up here? I did. So of course I get stickers printed on all kinds of things, just like everybody else. So I have this purple robot that we use here on channel. Here it is with sunglasses. That's one of the emotes. But I put together 5 or 6 of these, including. You must have used Microsoft Office back in the day when the paperclip guy was around, right? Clippy, and he would pop up and he'd tap on the screen and say, "Hi, can I help you?" Right? Well, I'm known for my rainbow beard, so I put a rainbow beard on the paperclip guy and a hat. So rainbow beard on him. Yes, Clippy is legend. Winterlord Games, absolutely. What's my opinion on Confi Dev? I don't know what that is. I'm not familiar with it. And our friends at GitHub have a mascot. They have what they call the Octo Cat. It's a cat that has octopus legs. Well, I put a rainbow beard and a hat on that one also. So those I have a collection of those stickers I send out to folks every time we cross 100 followers, a multiple of 100 followers here. So I'm behind. It looks like I owe a couple of giveaways here. Good morning, Eternal Dev Coder. Good to see you. And, oh my goodness, there's another one. Maggie, thanks so much for tuning in. So, and on Friday, Alex, I'm hosting a full-day workshop teaching folks how to get started with web development with ASP.NET on stream.
Really?
Yeah, so that's 8 hours of...
On stream?
On stream, training, answering questions from folks. You're going to want to be loaded up. You're going to want to have some coffee on board. I'm willing to bet if you're in the Continental 48 and you placed an order... you'd have that delivered before Friday and ready to go for the.
That is so cool, man. It's and what a good resource, and that's such an awesome thing to do, especially right now.
Yes. So we have that coming up Friday. Is it next week? Is it next week already? Oh my gosh. So my stream team, the live coders, we've during this time of challenge right now. We brought the whole team together. That's it, lucky number 7, yeah. Next Thursday, our stream team is putting on 14 hours of conference sessions live on Twitch. So everybody...
14 hours?
14 hours, 14 different presenters. So
there's so much educational resources coming. You guys are awesome, man.
Huge. Yeah, we're really excited. We want to be able to help folks. We know there's a lot of training, a lot of opportunity here. Lucky number 7 in the chat, he's a team member. He's going to be giving a session during that. So there's a link just below here on Twitch about the conference. It's right there next to the Madrinas link and the giveaway. Make sure you click through, check out all those things while you're here on Twitch. All right, so here's our training results. So it's telling us it was 71% precise. What's that mean? We'll tell you if a tag is predicted by your model, how likely is it to be right? Okay, 70%, that's pretty good. What does recall mean? Tell you out of the tags which currently predicted correctly, what percentage did your model correctly find? So this is where I'm saying we need to also tell it some things that aren't Madrinas to put in there, I think.
This is the thing that blows my mind. Is you have to tell it the things that aren't, because like I said,
Yeah.
I just think about that, and the universe of that sounds huge.
It is. All right, let's try doing a prediction. Let's see what happens just with what we got. So improve your model. You're ready to send images to your project for prediction. Start using the prediction endpoint. So there's an endpoint here. It's a web address that we'll be able to upload images into, and it'll tell us a little bit about it. But I'm going to click through to quick test, and we can give it an image URL, and it will show us, and we'll be able to identify something. So let's go back over to Twitter, and I'm going to do a search on it's coffee for fuel, of course, and see if we can find some pictures of folks. Look at that. Perfect. Right off the top. Post Malone of all people, right? There we go.
There he is, Posty.
So let's grab that image, right? And I'm going to grab that URL. I should be able to just navigate directly to it or not. Right? So let's drop that into, I don't care about the pricing anymore, over here. Drop that into the URL. See if it can find it. Right? Refresh the page and try again. Oh, look at this. All right, so we may need to download the image first. There it is. We'll take a look. predictions. Probability 21% that it found Madrinas in this section of the image. All right.
Wow.
All right.
What probability?
21%.
That it's
okay. That it
so
found a
hold on,
Madrinas.
Does that mean that it's saying that Madrinas occupies 21% of this square, or is it saying it's 21% certain that Madrinas is somewhere in that square?
It's 21% certain that it's in that square.
Okay.
So
it's got to be more confident in itself. Look at it; it's right there.
I know.
It's got to believe in itself a little bit more. Give yourself at least a 50%.
Yeah. You can be better than that.
Program.
Come on, Asher. So to create an object. So all right. So now can I train this, right? And say, well, it's actually right there. And yes, that's Madrinas. So does that help train? There we go. So that I'm guessing that improved the model. If I go back over to training images, is it over here now? Yeah, there it is. So there's Posty, and he's got his can there, and I can retrain, and now it'll learn a little bit more. So let's give it a couple more here. Let's go back out, see if we can find a couple more folks enjoying the product, and we can enhance, right? We can teach it so it's more than just the cans out there. That's an animated GIF. Who we got here? Mr. Catfish. Mr. Catfish, welcome in. You are now.
Yeah.
Right, we'll grab that. Welcome in. You are now machine learning. All right. Look at that. 90% on this one, it's saying. Refresh the page. There it is. There we go. Now it's up to 90%. It's saying down here, look at that. It found the logo.
Good work, machine.
All right. This is really cool. So, and Dan Siegel is pointing out in the chat room, it is important to have bad pictures that aren't what we're looking for, so we can tell, well, this isn't a thing. You're right. So not only do we have it there, but I'm also going to say that it's up here as well. Right, so that it identifies that. So now it knows both of those. Let's see. Can we find another cool image?
And I guess it's just because the logo isn't showing up on the can.
That would be my guess, because we just taught it can pictures, right? Maybe if we find somebody who's holding a can by itself, right? Can we get a snapshot from that? Mauler JM, thank you so much. Appreciate the support there.
Yo, Mauler, hell yeah. Thank you so much for using code Fritz. Getting 20% off your order.
Very cool. Here's another one. Let's see if we can train this. And I love how simple this is, that we're just kind of iterating and saying, all right, we got something here. We're figuring this out. Right? Because anybody could be taught. Look at that. 80%. Now it found it. Now it found it where it should be. So this is now getting a little bit.
What's its confidence in that square now?
So that's 80% that what's in the square
there
is the product. Yeah, it's kind of turned on an angle and it identified it. Love it. Love it.
So now does this get applied to that sentiment analysis tool that you were using before?
So that's going to be the next thing that I wanted to kind of mix it up here, right?
Okay.
So we did the sentiment analysis previously against Twitter to figure out, well, here's people talking about the product. What I want to do is we had put something in there where it was saving the links for those images. We were passing them along so you could see them in our dashboard over here inside of Power BI. And we had some images that were popping up over here of people that are identifying, right? And we're just showing, oh yeah, here's people talking about different things and what they're saying and the sentiment of it. Well, let's grab these images that we're doing the sentiment analysis and do that extra piece now. Send the image up, identify if the product is in it. So, excuse me here. So this one, here we go. Madrinas down. We have a casualty, and their sentiment is 9%. They're not happy, and it turns out they're throwing away their can. All right, so
on that specific tweet.
On that specific image. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, that tweet that's attached to that image. Cool. Makes sense, right? So to be able to go down here and look at some of these other images and identify, right, well, here's when somebody's happy or something, well, what are they really talking about with the product, right? So here we go. So here's somebody with a Baby Yoda sticker, and they're helping me through the workday, right? And we would be able to identify, yes, the product's in the picture. So that's the next piece that I want to layer in here, is pull that last project together with what we have over here, so we can make it better.
Yeah, because this is exactly what I saw you build last time.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's out there on GitHub, right? If anybody wants to give this a try, you can download the source code and you can give it a try to take a look and analyze images on Twitter. We'll take this and at some point we'll turn it into a service that's hanging out there running on Azure or somewhere, so that it's just running and pulling down and looking at Madrinas tweets and people talking about the product. Let me take a look at what's going on here. Shlomo is he's grabbing some coffee. Good to see you again, Shlomo. Yeah, he was. So Shlomo's like, okay, this is crazy, a little bit out there stuff that we've got machines identifying and able to tell us what's going on in here. All right, we'll see in a little bit there. Mahler needs some coffee. Absolutely. We need not just marketing pictures, but pictures out in the real world, says SMAP. Totally right. Absolutely. So we could certainly go through here and load more pictures up. And I don't think you want to watch me load up more pictures into this. Now that we have the endpoint, though, right, we have this thing out there. We can start to load stuff into it. I could grab this.
So the fact that it said, here's with 80% certainty there's an image here, is that like how fast it learned? Like, do you expect it to always yield some sort of confidence interval in that range now?
I don't know if it's going to be in that range. We know that it's getting better, right? As we give it more images, it's going to identify better what's coming up. And so we told it to retrain based on some of those new images we ran. Mm-hmm. And it should tell us, there we go. Our previous iteration, when we trained it with just the can images, just the marketing images, came through at 71% precision. This time it's coming through at 83% precision. So
that's it getting smarter.
Yeah, right. So it is Dan, it is a semi-invisible can because I've got the green screen behind me. But with just 26 images, we're able to get it pretty precise that it's knowing, it's learning, and can figure out what the product is. So let's see if we can fool it here, and let's give it this picture that's just a cup of coffee. Right? Good morning, have a nice day. Yeah, well, is that Madrinas?
So is this part of training it to know what it's not?
Exactly. Right? This should come up and say 0%. Actually, no, look at that. It thinks 90%.
90%? Well, what if that person who made this image secretly used Madrinas?
We've got a problem. How would we figure that out? My gosh. There we go. All right, so here it says, right, in looking at this, it thinks Madrinas is in 90% of that. Well, that's wrong. Right? I'm going to click into that and say that's not.
What do you suppose it's IDing in that image, in that square?
Know. Right? It can tell what's in the cup, says Unhip Coder.
Yeah, so I mean, like, what if they secretly used Madrinas and poured that in?
I don't know. Kabazi in the chat room says, well, maybe it's the color. Maybe it's seeing that color comparison and thinking that's what it is. Don't know. But I'm going to remove the tag so that it doesn't think that's Madrinas. Right? And can I... No, don't do that. No, I want to tell it that it isn't. How do I remove it? I don't want it to think that, you know? So let me go back over to the training images. I want to save this, right? It's not... How do I do that? There's got to be some help here. Come on.
So is this where you're now at the point where you're trying to tell it, no, this is not what we're looking for?
Yeah. I do want to... Okay, don't remove it. Then it's untagged. Give it another tag. Okay. So what other tag could I give it? I don't want to trash it, Dan. What other... There's the bin in the top left will remove... Right? remove the object. I don't want to remove the object. I want to tell it that it's something else, right? So let's give it a tag of I don't
cup.
Coffee. Dan saying coffee. Sure, cup. That's a good one.
Cool.
Yeah, why not?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, because coffee might get confusing because you might start using the word coffee elsewhere.
Okay.
Right? Maybe, or I don't know.
No, that makes sense. So now we've told it this is a cup. Okay, and can we? Let's just fix the trim there so it's a little bit closer. All right. So yeah, see, why is it? That's the prediction. And I've added now. There it is. So now it knows it's on the wrong thing. I thought we added that setting. All right. Close. Did it? Okay, now it remembered it. All right. So let's see if we can. Let's go grab one or two more here, just to try and fake it out. Try and get it to identify and say, no, this isn't. Right? Oh, here you go. You wish you had coffee for fuel. Look at that. That's not right. You better believe it. Is that Pac-Man Jr.? One of our viewers out there? Yeah. All right, so let's load that in and make sure that we get.
And then, so you're going to test to see, basically just like you did with that cup.
Exactly, right? He's holding up a can of Mountain Dew. That's not Madrinas, right? All right, so refresh the page. And go back over here to the predictions. So now, all right, see, it's seeing, why does it think the diet word? No, those aren't right at all.
Maybe it's just detecting that M text. You think that's what's going on? Because obviously the Mountain Dew logos has the M in it.
I'm wondering if we didn't load enough. Yeah, put not Madrinas as a tag. I don't think it's identifying the text. I'm not sure. Zero Dan 1 asks, is there a diet Madrinas?
Currently, none of our products could be categorized as, diet, because we don't do things like add artificial sugars or artificial sweeteners or artificial, pretty much anything. Everything that we add is fully all natural. So we use the premium cane sugar, we use the premium skim milk. However, we do have a cold brew black, which is essentially just straight, it's essentially as low calorie as you're going to get. It's just like black coffee. So if you have a specific way that you like to make coffee, where you add stevia or you add almond milk or whatever, the cold brew black is the perfect base for those kind of, if you're going to make, your own coffee at home.
There we go. That looks familiar. Grab that one.
And then as a reminder, everybody, we do have a giveaway going on right now. So make sure you guys sign up for the giveaway so you can win some free Madrinas.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you guys are not down for a chance at winning Madrinas, you want just to guarantee that you're going to have some sent to you, you can use code Fritz and support Fritz, get 20% off your order. And look at that.
Just
Alex,
like Alex
coming in.
Yeah.
Alex B coming in using discount code Fritz. Just like that, guys. 20% off your entire order. We'll send it directly to you. Obviously, in a time right now where everyone's staying, as close to their home as possible, sending us, being able to send you our coffee is just way more convenient.
Winter Lore Games asks, is it US only? Winter Lore, are you referring to the giveaway?
The giveaway. So the giveaway works. And I'm gonna actually have, because we set it up differently for certain ones. But this one should be international because it's gonna the prizes are fuel cups. So if you guys are down to win some Madrinas K cups and Madrinas fuel cups, we can ship those internationally.
Drop them in your coffee machine and you get a nice hot cup. 30 seconds. Love it. This one identified the product pretty well. That's good. 70% on, yeah, that's pretty
Pulled up that full landscape.
Oh, yeah. And we can even, right? We can really zoom in and say, there it is right there. Awesome. So we need to figure out how to train it on the things that it isn't, why it found it here, how to tell it that it's wrong. I'm not quite sure how to do that. But now that we have the endpoint here, let's see if we can load this up. 3-bit is in Germany. Fantastic. Great to hear from you. So let me go grab, right? So there's there's my project ID. There's going to be, hey, look, there's my key for this. Oh, man. Well, the key's out there. This happens to me all the time, Alex. Like, it's not as bad as like putting your credit card online, like people seeing your credit card.
Yeah,
that's kind of bad.
Definitely don't want that.
But showing people your Azure keys, service keys, we were saying about, well, you've only got so many requests you can make in. Yeah, we just showed that key.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Oops. Oops.
Well, I trust that there's only good people around. That,
only good people.
You know what I mean? that have no other intentions but to just learn.
Yeah. Now, I didn't exactly dox myself. At least. So Alex, I was interviewing somebody. It was about 2 months ago, and he went and opened his email on screen. He's sharing his screen. Opened his email on screen, and wouldn't you know, the first email at the top was the credit card bill for his wife's credit card, and there's the credit card number.
Oh no!
Like,
that is
dude!
Such.
That's.
Oh.
Come on, man. That's amateur hour.
You gotta like stop everything, right? And call
yeah,
your
I was
bank?
like,
that's gotta be the next move. There's nothing else that can be done.
Call your wife. Tell her that you accidentally put the credit card number on the internet, and to change it now. Call the bank. Like,
well,
I can blur it in post, but it's out there. People on Twitch clip. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
You put your screen up.
How long ago was that?
It was just a few months ago, 2-3 months ago.
2 months ago. Okay.
Yeah. Felt terrible for the guy. He's like, oh well, okay, I'll go get it changed. Like, yeah. Kiter asks, you want to know how to control streaming video? Well, you can't rewind while we're on the live view here on Twitch. You can click on the videos tab up top and look at the video that's currently playing. It'll be the first video in my recent broadcast list, and you'll be able to rewind and fast forward in there if you want to go back and take a look at what we were talking about. Angry Valon said, I'd be annoyed with a company sending my credit card info over email. Yeah, I thought it was kind of crazy that it was in there. No, was it an email? No, wait a sec. I'm sorry. It wasn't. You're right. It wasn't an email, Angry Valon. It was like LastPass, one of the 1Password applications. And he had because he had his credit cards all saved and secured in there, and that's where it was.
And he pulled that tool up?
Yeah, he opened that because he was filling in a password on a site. I'm like, why are you opening that? Don't open that. Like, that's what it was. It was an email. You're right. Thank you, Angry Valund. Yeah, it's so secure, and it lists the credit card number out right there because there's an option in some of those that says don't show my password or don't show my these values, and it keeps it just the stars.
Mm-hmm.
No, he had that option turned off. Oh, thank you, Yodamai. Yeah, this is a hat they gave out at the store at the Microsoft store at Christmases a couple of years ago. All right. So this is the program that we were running last time. So we have our little console application that knows how to reach in and take a look at the sentiment for the tweets. Now, when we bring back that sample, did I break something here? What's that saying? We'll figure that out. When we bring back the data, we were bringing along the photo if there was one, and we had that. Where was that photo saved at? There we go. Image URL. So the object that we're looking at that has that tweet text had an image that was tacked onto it. So I'm going to grab that image and I want to send it off to do the analysis and figure out is the product in this image,
Right.
and we'll be able to further train later, right? Because we're only going to look at the last how many statuses here. There won't be that many out there. So cool. Thank you, Shlomo. We're not quite there. Did we use test-driven development for this application? No, we didn't. We actually we learned a little bit of this out of a tutorial, and we applied it and extended it a little bit for what we're doing here. So here's where it's doing the prediction, and we're grabbing.
Now, what is it? Is this the source for the program that we were just looking at?
No. So this is the same sentiment analysis we were doing last time we were together.
This was the same one. Okay,
yeah.
Got it.
So this goes and it goes out to Twitter, and it goes and searches for the Coffee for Fuel hashtag. For each one of the last 500 statuses that it finds, it's going to go and test the sentiment of that tweet and write it out into a little CSV file here that we can open in Excel, or in our case, we opened it up in Power BI dashboard, so we could map it out and see where folks are located, stuff like that. Because, right, people attach their location to their profile. So we'll also have, there's the image URL. So what we want to do, I want to take the image URL and I want to bounce it off of our endpoint, the service we just set up to do the image detection. So I think if I go over here, that's not the name of this. That's actually, I thought I put this in a different resource. I have a resource. This is, I built a project last year that has a camera pointed at my home heating oil tank and tells me what the gauge reports. It just figures out where the number is in the picture and tells me, and I'm able to turn that into a precise measurement as to how full the oil tank is. Blazer Mr. Magoo asks, are we building Big Brother on stream today? Let me put that up. It's over there. I don't have... Come on, turn the deck on. Where'd it go? Featured chat is sleeping on me here.
Is this the Big Brother thing?
Yeah, right. I use this service, Featured Chat. And come on now. There it is. Are we building Big Brother on stream today? This is publicly available information. We're just analyzing and learning a little bit about what's out there. That's all. The humble... Yeah, Shlomo, that's right. The humble origin story of a future melting software out of control. That's right.
I'm not gonna lie, Fritz. When I see you do things like this, like actively making the machine smarter, I'm like, is this, are we watching it happen? Like, are we watching us program the genius?
So I think there's something to be said for right there's that uncanny valley that starts to happen at some point here where you're going to get so far into this and you're going to go, that's too real, right? That doesn't look right.
Right.
Right. And you see that with movies today, animated movies that try to approximate people, right? And you look at it and it's like, wait a sec, that skin is too perfect, or the way that thing is smiling doesn't quite look right? That uncanny valley of trying to imitate humans.
It's not imperfect. Like, I mean, humans are imperfect, so it doesn't carry that human touch.
Right. You can see the ugliness that is the gray hairs in my beard. These things that are too perfect in the machine. And wow. Skynet for Coffee says unhip coder. Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. Fairy Wings is here. Thank you for the sub.
Resubscribed for 18 months. Boop.
Boop indeed. This is so. I think I explained this last time, Alex, but we're donating all of our subs, all of our cheers this quarter. This is the last few days that we're doing this to code.org. That's getting science and technology into schools, into the curriculum, and I think for my next quarter charity, I need to go after something like the World Health Organization, something to help those folks, so that we're paying it forward to some of our frontline responders here, help them out. Shlomo has the Is This a Cat website. I think this is doing almost the exact same thing Yeah, here we go. Upload an image and it'll tell you, is this a cat or isn't it? This is exactly the type of thing that those other samples we were looking at in ml.net will do. You have a list of images and you say, well, this is what's in this image, and it tells you yes or no. This is a hot dog. In this case, this is a cat, whatever. And
you literally just upload an image that has a cat in it or not, and the website's going to tell you.
Right. So if I go back and go to our image library, right, and let me grab these, right? No, that's not a cat. Of course it's not. It's coffee, right? But this is the type of thing that we're at the beginning of, right? Being able to detect and help out things. This type of high-level analysis is at a much more complex state. What they're trying to do in analyzing and trying to figure out, right, how to combat the virus. What are the different things that we can do to analyze, looking at the data, figuring out what's going on there. So,
dude, if it would have said yes, we would have had to like completely go back and redesign what we're doing.
We've got cat coffee.
Cat.
Cat coffee. What is that?
Yeah.
Right? Vanilla cat. No, that's not. So, so the next thing that I need to do here is there's a way. Yes, there's a. So here are my endpoints. Here's my project. Here's where to go to actually access this. I'm gonna have to reset that key, and burn it. Where is? I need to grab the documentation so I can load this in. Yes, I want resources. Give me the C# sample. No, I want the code.
So at what point do you fuse it with the tool that we built last time?
That's what I want to do right now.
Right now,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we go. Using the .NET SDK, it's already built out there. I need to bring in these two packages. So this has all the stuff, all the information built into this so that it knows how to reach out and interact with that service we were just working with. So in .NET, we have these packages. It's called NuGet is the name of our packages. It's just like buying software. You know, you're going to go and say, yes, use this in my application so that we can extend our software with these features. So the software is free. Anybody can download it and include it in their project. You're gonna be difficult on me here, aren't you? Now, okay, that's working. Object reference is required. What did we do here? Predict is not.
And again, this is the code from the sentiment analysis tool.
Yep. This is what we wrote last time.
Keep in mind, Fritz, I know so little about coding and development.
And
so
we are getting you up to speed quickly.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm not trying to teach you about
right.
I
just think it's a really cool tool that you're developing.
Oh my
gosh.
You
know, when I see the ins and outs, I'm just, it's natural. I want, the process is so interesting. So I asking the questions. I apologize if they're very elementary, but I just,
you know what?
It's a cool tool.
You're asking the right questions that are going to help other folks understand and learn more along the way here, right?
Yeah.
We're not. I'm not doing things that are overly complex. This is what I did wrong. There we go. But what we're trying to do. Hey, JG Tavares, thank you for the sub. But right, these are samples that we've extended just a little bit. We had to really go through and learn about machine learning last time, but we've used effectively here an off-the-shelf service, and we're just extending it, adding new features to our existing application. Nah, come on now. Is this something anybody could do? I hope so. It takes a little bit of time to learn a little bit of the software, a little bit of the language, how it interacts. You are going to be difficult for me here, aren't you? What was the other thing? It was consume model predict. There we go. Good. Try that one more time. Oh, it did install. Good. So now I have... Right, here we go. These are the two things that reach out to what's called cognitive services. That machine learning stuff that's out in the cloud. And I'm going to grab... what do we have here? Now we're good. So I want to go back over to the sample here. Yeah, training and prediction keys. Blah, 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 blah. I need to copy them down somewhere.
How long have you used this tool for?
So I've used the cognitive services stuff. The sentiment that we see down there in the middle of the screen, that's the sentiment analysis stuff that we were doing last time. I've used that for better part of a year now. And there's actually the bot in chat. There you go. It just answered a question. That's completely wrong answer, but there's a bot in chat that I've been training to answer questions based on frequently asked questions on channel.
So it you don't even have to do the command. It just sees it and triggers it.
You got it. So that question from Curious Drive, is it possible to train the machine with a TXT or an MP4 files, not JPEG, not just JPEG files? That question, the answer is it'll only take images. It'll take JPEGs, PNG files, bitmaps. I don't think it'll take text and MP4 it's doing image analysis, so it's looking at images here. But because this chat statement ended with a question mark, the bot sees
the Fritz
that.
Bot,
you got it.
The Fritz bot is triggered and tries to answer it.
Yes. Does it ever answer correctly? Asks Blazer Mr. Magoo. So I tried to set a confidence level that it won't answer questions if it sees that it's below like 40% confidence. I need to retrain it and put some more images in there.
I don't know. I see a pretty correct answer. It says everybody loves tacos. I agree.
See?
I think it's doing pretty good.
So this is the training. So we can upload and tag images from our application. Thank you for the follow, Konki. Welcome in. So all right, we've already done training because we did it through the user interface, through the web. And I love that because anybody can pick up and say, well, here's some more stuff for you to learn and go and retrain. I love having an easy user interface for stuff like that when you think about it, it's really complex.
Right.
And be able to say, oh, well, it's right here. But this is what we want to do. I want to use the prediction endpoint. So we can open a file, open it, and we're going to say endpoint detect image. Okay. How do I... all right. Custom vision prediction endpoint. And it's actually uploading. Here's what it's doing. Well, I don't need it to upload because we'll have the URL from Twitter. So maybe we can steal these two bits of samples and pull it together. Alex, let me tell you, I'm an okay developer. I'm the world's best Googler at finding samples.
You're number one.
Google has a ranking, and it turns out I'm number one.
Dude, isn't there aren't there crazy you can add symbols and stuff into the field search and it impacts what you're yielding? Is that true? I don't know anything about it.
Oh my gosh. So I prefer a search engine called DuckDuckGo. But if you do use the Google, Shlomo can Google so much better than me. Oh man, bring it. Bring it. But you can type site, right? madrinascoffee.com, and you can tell it, go find me vanilla, and it'll limit to just that site, right? And show you, here's just the things that it found that has vanilla, right? So little things like that, and you can also tell it, we'll just bring back images and some other things.
Well, good. Number one Googler. I always wondered who that was, so.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Glad to meet you. Glad to meet you, everyone.
Smab always bings with DuckDuckGo. So here's the thing. DuckDuckGo, we all know Google captures information about what we're searching for and kind of tacks it on to your profile, right? Whether or not you're logged in or not.
DuckDuckGo, that's so funny.
So these guys don't. And I say these guys because it's a couple of gentlemen that started the company, but the folks here at DuckDuckGo do not. But you can go through and search for things with that same syntax and you'll get an unbiased result that isn't influenced by your previous searches. So I've got a couple of ads right up at the top, and then I get the same searches. There's little commands and things you can drop in here to tell it, well, do that search on Google, !G, and it'll do that search on Google, or !B, and it'll bounce it off of Bing. Mm-hmm. But I can also take that same search on DuckDuckGo, and what I really like, come on, go back. Come on now, here, right? I can also put !IMG, and it'll search for images and return, these are the images that it sees on Madrinas.com, MadrinasCoffee.com, that have vanilla. Fantastic. Somewhere in it. So really nice to see, competition here in the search engine space. But
sure, yeah, of course.
I think
Google still has like 95% of the volume though.
Crazy.
From like
crazy.
If you're just gonna assess it.
So if So we can do this to actually get the prediction box rendered. Not rendered, but output if it found it. And so let's, excuse me. I'm going to start a new prediction endpoint. So instead of having it go through here for each status, and it already wrote it out to the file, I could have it go do it as a secondary check here. Let's do that. And let's write something here called image identifier or something. I don't know. Identify Madrinas, and I'm just going to put something over here on the side, and we're going to tell it what the image URL is, and that's going to be inside this thing. Image. Hey. Oh, crumbs. It's this thing. All right. Hang on. I'm going to bring that out.
Fritz, give me 1 second. I'm going to get some water.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm going to grab the item here. I'm going to grab this object that we were trying to create. Introduce a new object. This is our, I'll call it a record, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to take a look at the record image URL is what we're going to analyze. And I don't know what that's going to do yet, but I'm going to create a new class for this, right? Put it in a new file, sure. Fantastic. So let's see. I can go grab, right? I need to put this into the mix so that we have a method to our madness. So if we go back to the sample, we're going to create an endpoint that is a new. All right. We'll optimize this in a little bit. We'll figure it out. Right. So just to make sure that we got it working, what are we saying there? Boom, boom. The mechanics of how it works. It will take all users' requests, funnel it through one endpoint, so this will average out the bias in the target search engine. Yes, it does. Yep. And I need a using statement, so we need that API key. We're going to copy it in from over here. Hard code it because, hey, that's where I'm going. And that's is the endpoint this one or the resource ID? Where'd it get that endpoint? I really appreciate Alex joining us today, and I know that software writing it like this isn't really his bag, and that's okay. But what's interesting, what I appreciate is that he's taken some time to learn, to join us, and show some interest in getting a little uncomfortable, getting into and taking a look at something that is might actually be a little bit interesting, something that can make a difference, do something interesting with some of our data that we have out there, because we have so much data out there that we just don't know how to consume. So Thank you, JT England. Thank you so much for the follow. All right. So I think that's the right endpoint for us. So now what I should be able to do is, I don't want to open this. I want to be able to say detect image and get a result. So let's see if I can do something with that. Right? Endpoint detect image. So what do we have here as arguments? I need a project ID, published name, the image data. Oh, we actually have to upload the image. Oh, are you kidding? Womp womp. That feels wrong, man. You know, I feel like that feels like it should be, here's the URL, you go download it, but it wants me to actually push the image up there. Boom Boom makes a very good point here. You're absolutely right. Let me put that up. We're doing a little bit of research and development, and at its core is the state of mind when you're comfortable with being constantly lost. You're absolutely right. Right? All
right, I'm back.
Hey there. Boom Boom makes an interesting point here. We're doing a little research, a little development, and it's the state of mind of being comfortable with being constantly lost. Kind of, right? Detecting, figuring out, yeah, does this make sense or doesn't it? Not bad. Not bad. Turns out well, wait a second. What other methods do we have here? There's detect image. Is there like a detect image? There is. All right. So maybe I can do this. So I want to pass it the URL that's out there on Twitter that we want it to detect. So let me punch this information in here so we can see what it does. I have a project GUID, right? That global identifier here. So that's going to be good parse this. That I hate these weird numbers. What's published name? The name of the model to evaluate against. Well, that's this one, the Madrinas product identifier. All right. And the image URL. Okay. New image URL. And we're going to give it that string. Bingo. All right, here we go. This is what we want. And I don't need anything on the end. It's going to return to me a prediction. Fantastic. Can I shorten this? Can I? Oh well, I'll leave it like that. So now I want to be able to inspect that result, and it was showing me here in the sample that we could console bright line out what the predictions are. All right, let's write this out just so we can see what it finds in result predictions. So I'm going to put a breakpoint here so we can see if this actually works properly. And hopefully we'll hit this. Hey, D-Trouble, good to see you. So we're going to run this. We're going to see if we can detect some images out there for people using the coffee for fuel and see what it reports for some of the images that it finds. Let's see what happens.
And then, guys, speaking of coffee for fuel, as a reminder, if you haven't entered the giveaway yet, make sure you do. We're trying to give away some Madrinas to you guys.
Absolutely.
While we hang out and while Fritz builds this image IDing, this thing that's way outside of my grasp. But while we sit here and learn, while I learn so much, I don't know. You probably have a ton of people in your community that know how to do this kind of stuff.
You know what? There's some folks out here that are a little well versed in this, and there's some folks that aren't. We're learning a little bit together, so that's all cool. Paulus TM asks, how do we join? There's a link just below the video here that says Fritz Madrinas coffee giveaway. Click that, fill it out, and you'll get into the mix here. Did I take the, where did it go? I had my Twitter credentials in here, didn't I? I did, and I deleted them. Rats. Right now I got to do exactly what I was just complaining about. Oh gosh, you went and showed your stuff on screen.
I was just about to say, you better be careful. You're talking about credentials now.
Right? All right. Let me go get those credentials one more time while I'm off screen. Dev Twitter.com. So I already have a Twitter developer account, so I can log in and I can see all my information out there. Where's my applications? So I have one of these. Yes. Apps, there it is. And I don't remember which one I used before. This one maybe? Keys and tokens, here we go. Right, is it the... Hey, thank you for the follow. There's that, and the secret... you know what? It's these. Copy this one. Make sure I don't show that. It's the worst. It's the worst.
Yeah, no. Like I said, if I was that person that showed the card, I'd be like calling my wife right away, being like, yo.
Yep, that was the wrong key. That wasn't the key you needed.
Yeah.
Try this one more time. See if we can get there. Official Prometheus. Wasn't that a movie?
Official Prometheus?
Wasn't Prometheus a movie?
I think so. Sounds like a word that I've heard.
Yeah. It's telling me that those are the wrong credentials. All right, fine. Let's try these other ones. This one. Copy these ones in. So it's amazing how easy folks have made it to be able to access and consume data from other platforms. Like being able to search Twitter, like 10 years ago, you'd be like, I can search like somebody else's application from my application and see what's going on over there. That's really, really cool to be able to do. You know? There are at least two movies named Prometheus. Yeah, okay. There we go. Now it's searching. Now we're getting through. And to be able to search Facebook and to be able to do some of these other things that are so interesting, right, of how we connect the pieces together. The value that it gives us as business owners, as business marketing and sales is huge. So let's see if this will do that detection. Here we go. Invalid status code not found. All right, what did I do here? Let me see. Not found. It didn't find. What didn't it find? Is my URL wrong? My URL might be wrong. I'm willing to bet that's what it is. Let me try. Let me go back to here. So we were trying to use. Oh no, it's down here. I was trying to use. Is it just that? Let me see. I think that should work. Give it a shot. Don't want that one. This one. Yeah, that. All right. Let's see what happens. So just trying to connect up the outside service. Nope.
With this one.
With this one. And now I'm still not hitting the right endpoint. So this is right. So now we've got data from Twitter and we're trying to connect out here to Azure. And this is what it's saying. I don't think that's the right resource, but, right. Just refresh that. Just, yeah, that's what it's saying it is. Let me go back over to the sample. Where is... Come on. This is the big finish. We want to have it show, hey, look what I found. You know? But, hey, there it is.
It's like I guess it's literally the same in whatever you're doing. You build anything, you're looking for that end moment. Even if it's like you ordered like a new bed frame, right? And like you're just like so confused while you do it. You're looking for that moment at the end where you're like, all right, this is it. I got to see the fruit of my labor. Yeah.
Look what I got. The endpoint URL from the settings page of your Custom Visions website. That's what I did. I grabbed that, but right there it is. And I'm using that key and spreading it all over the place. And that's the project ID all the way down through 466. The project name. Thank you for the follow. Sheep Blackish. Welcome in. Right. Published names. The name of the model to evaluate against. Yeah, that. Okay. And it's telling me... What's it telling me? Come on. We can do this. I just can't imagine that's the right URL. What do you think, chat room? No.
What would be wrong with the URL?
So what I'm looking at, it's telling me not found. What I'm looking at is the URL is just this. It says East US. But the resource ID, so this is saying this is where this thing is actually located inside that Eastern US data center, which we know it's not because we told it to create it in South Central US. And it's saying there's an ID in there, and there's this other resource group that I'm not actually using. So I feel like this is wrong. Which wouldn't be too far behind me being able to say, yeah, this isn't configured right. Like I've been known to find a couple mistakes and a couple problems in Azure services, Alex.
You have been?
Yes.
And then do you have like a direct line to report those?
I do. And they
nice.
get frustrated with me at times. They're like, does anything ever work correctly on your stream, Fritz? Yes, it does, actually.
They're probably like, maybe test it out before you go live.
What? Let me see. I have a feeling that the website is reporting the wrong address. So I'm going to go out here.
You think it's a bug?
I think it's a bug in that website. I do.
Yeah.
Right? Let me see. Cognitive services. So I have this one that's already allocated. That's not it, though. Right? I told it to create a group called Madrinas. There it is. Okay. Yes. Okay. So keys and endpoint. Yeah. See, that's how it's supposed to appear, all blurred out. No, they can't do it on their other side. You make me sad. I tell you. I'm going to use this, that endpoint that it gave me. And now if I paste that end, that feels right. And yes, I'll regenerate these in just a minute after we are sure. And it's a different API key too. Try and run that, and let's see. I bet you this hits this time. Azure support on speed dial, says Unhipcoder. Yes, right? So, and Shlomo was saying that he's learning a little bit of Python and how to do some of this stuff. Because this is a service out in the cloud, you're able to hit this with any programming language, and it'll find and bring stuff back. It's still saying not found. What's the error it's saying? It's not giving me any error. That's so nice of you. So, what is it saying not found about? Because I've given it a new thing here. I hate have you hanging around here where I'm kind of like, why isn't this working?
Oh, what do I? Listen, I'm just so happy that I get to hang, man.
Oh, cool.
Thank you for inviting out. I'm learning. More than anything, obviously you have an awesome community, and this is super educational.
Thank you.
Man, I'm just thankful that I get to sit here and drink some coffee and hang with you.
Cool. Well, all right. Well, thank you. So I've got this is called that GUID in here, that ID for the project, right? Because that's project ID over here. Let me put some carriage returns in here so we can see, just to make sure I'm not doing something wrong. And then that's the URL that I want it to go find. Is it the No, it's got to be finding that. I got an idea. Let's kind of force the issue here and actually have it detect one of the images that we have on disk using the sample the way that it was written. Over here.
I'm Scott. Right? I'm new here.
Hey, thank you for the sub, Alex.
Dude, of course.
So I just want to load up one of those images of the product and see if we can get it to identify that instead of trying to bounce out there off of something. So let me do this. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to actually tell it, go load this file off of disk. Right, comment this one out. We're not going to do that just yet. And move this up here. See if we can get it to just find what's on disk. So the project ID is this. Right, and that. I really should put these in variables so I don't have... These are what we call magic strings in software. Mm-hmm. They're like... You see how it's text that's embedded in here, but that text could change at some point. There's... How can I put it? If that text ever changes, or if you get the case of that wrong... It looks funny, it looks weird, and it'll break your software because it doesn't know what it is. So we try to avoid having the magic strings like this, that if you get the string name right, it'll do something. If you don't, it doesn't. So you try and put those behind a programming construct, behind a variable name, so that you don't have that problem long term in your software. So there we go. So now I've now got a variable that has, here's the file name. So now over here it knows to open that, and hopefully we'll see it find this. There we go. Run, and let's see what it finds. Hey, just call me AJ. About to start going to school for computer programming. Oh, that's great. Just call me AJ. There's a lot of folks that are doing live coding, streaming, teaching, answering questions about all kinds of technology things here on Twitch. Check out the Live Coders group. Click that Live Coders link below. We're going to be hosting a conference on the 9th, next Thursday. There's some soft skills talks in there. There's some cool talks about building games that you're going to see in there. Different programming languages. That's a week and a half now? That's a week and a half, yeah. So make sure you check that out.
So then what's coming up this Friday?
This Friday is
your 8-hour stream, is that right?
It's just me for 8 hours teaching about getting started with web development using ASP.NET Core. Which also sounds like an insanely valuable resource.
Yeah. I know AJ. So AJ, it's like I want to make sure he knows that you got that coming up Friday and next week.
All completely free. Anybody can tune in. It's all live here on Twitch. Yep, just me later this week. Absolutely. Still saying not found when trying to connect out to that website. So that's all right. Now I'm getting like really annoyed with this. It's like, what is that supposed to look like then? Because if it's not hitting that endpoint, right? Is it the combination of that endpoint but that's not the name of it either. Right? That resource ID feels wrong.
What's it supposed to look like?
I don't know. That's the thing that's killing me about this is when I look at the sample here, they purposely don't show, well, here's what the endpoint is, right? Right? There's a create a prediction endpoint, new API key and endpoint. And endpoint, it defined in this sample. Here it is. All right. Get the endpoint URL from the settings page of the Custom Vision website. Yeah, that's not right. That doesn't work. Come on, man. Right? That's it right there, but it should have some more hooked onto it. Right, so this endpoint here, there's the name. right? And if I bring, let's put the enters in here so we can see what this is, right? Project name equals that. Wait a sec. Remember what I was saying about magic strings? I had written in the project name as Madrinas product identifier, and it's telling me that it's actually just the keyword Madrinas.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
Is that the source of the glitch?
It might be, and if it is, I'm gonna feel such shame.
Listen, man, there's a lot of little, like there's a lot of values, a lot of little
moving
things.
pieces.
Yeah, that's a lot going on there.
Okay, still saying not found. All right, so that's not it. All right. So what's the? I bet you the project ID is wrong too. Project ID equals GUID parse, and this is that really long number there. I bet you it's different over here, isn't it? Wait, there. Right, this is detect image and it wants the project ID. Okay, so we have the name. Is it up here? Are they telling me the project ID up here? There's the key, the endpoint. I thought I had that right. So what's the project ID? I bet you it's hiding somewhere. 434, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that sure looks like that should be that project ID. Okay, and that looks the same. Okay. So if it's not just that, what else is it? And I feel like I'm reading stereo instructions too. It's like, no, we don't completely have everything here for you. It's not all exactly here. Yeah, that's right. And I'll copy in that API key. No.
Is your vanilla cappuccino gone, by the way?
Oh, wait a sec. Nope, still about half left.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say maybe if maybe you had to crack a second can. Maybe that's the missing ingredient here.
Not quite yet. Let me. Can I tell you the Madrinas coffee mugs? I have been living by this, and my wife is insanely jealous of the earthen, this really thick coffee mug. Oh my god.
Oh, dude, yes.
My wife is so jealous. She's like, I need one of those. All right, I'm gonna have to go and order you one, no problem. But they are sweet. Oh my gosh, folks would see me really drinking from it. I've even been drinking water from it, whatever, on stream when it gets a little bit later and I'm done with a little bit of coffee in the morning.
Right.
I'm still not getting this being detected using. Now I'm literally using the sample the exact same way that it's written here, and it doesn't work. And if I try to extrapolate, that doesn't make sense either. Like this isn't accurate at all. Oh man. Let's see. Is there something else I'm missing over here? Keys and endpoint, pricing tier, virtual network. No. Regenerate. I could regenerate the key, and I don't need to do that right now. I don't have that. So what am I missing? I mean, we're able to do the work over here, but I can't see the values.
Is this the last hook?
It is. This is the hook to put in, right, to have our app call into this model on the web page automatically, right? The predictions that we were able to upload and say, we'll do a quick test, right? This little screen where I was saying, oh, well, here's a URL, go detect this. This is what I'm trying to do in code right here, right? I'm saying, here's the image file, and here's the identifiers for my project. go detect inside that image. Here's what it is.
Is there now? Again, keep in mind, Fritz, I'm very, very elementary when it comes to this stuff. Is this?
Lay it on me.
Might there be something that's case sensitive? I don't know.
So, good question. So this is a web address. Web addresses, as I'm sure you know, they're not case sensitive. It'll detect and handle that appropriately. This is the file on disk. It was able to... Wait a sec. I'm already... Hang on. Give me a second here. What? This sample... I'm reading through this now. Chat, I can't believe you didn't pick up on this and say, Fritz, what are you doing here? Look at this.
You found it? You found the answer?
Well, I don't know. So here it's opening that file. So right now I'm pointing it just to a file on disk. Hey, open that file of the Madrinas can. And then I'm saying detect image. And in the sample code, it goes and reopens that. This will never work. I need to pass that. It's passing the wrong object. Might have worked. The full error is a not found. That's coming back, cryosis. So here we go. Option, so, and all it's telling me is external code. And if I view details here, we take a look. It's wrapped up. It's hidden behind the request here. That's saying, right. Oh, are you kidding me? That might be it. If this is it, I'm going to scream. Right? So when you build web addresses, you can't put two slashes right next to each other in the name of it, in the name of the location. So, nope, still not finding it. Let's look at the details of the error. The location that it was trying to go to was an invalid address. So if I look at the request, here's the headers, right? Every time you send a request over the web, it passes a bunch of headers. So it has, here's a key, here's my user agent, content type, content length. That's basically how much data we're sending up there. And here's the address that we're trying to go to. Right, so now as we try and dig through here, it's trying to go to South Central US API Cognitive Microsoft Comp Custom Vision v30 prediction. There's that address. Detect iterations Madrinas image. I feel like, let me change that project name back. Remember when I was saying that that felt like the wrong address? Right, let me go back over to here, and if I take that, so I'm finding a couple different things in here that just don't gel, and that the sample, and folks here that watch me on stream regularly, they know we find problems in documentation. You can actually log them, or you can submit changes, and Microsoft will fix them for you. Still not found. Oh man, these samples don't work. I'm going to take a look one more time. I may have to throw this in, but we've almost got this where we can go and detect what the issue is. Cryosis. Oh, who's the other voice? That's Alex Davis from Madrinas Coffee.
Hey now, hey Fritz. Again, thank you for letting me come and hang. And yeah, guys, I'm Alex. I'm with Madrinas. The very proud coffee partner for Fritz.
Yeah.
This is an awesome community. This is an awesome channel. The content is educational, but it's also, this is just a great place to hang out. So we wanted to make sure that we were coming and getting to know everyone here, but also giving you guys a giveaway, a chance to win some free Madrinas, which we have a giveaway link that's going around. Guys, make sure you enter that so you can win some free coffee that we're trying to just give away to you. But hey, if you want to just guarantee yourself some coffee and get it on its way to you ASAP, you guys can use discount code Fritz on the Madrinas Coffee web store to load up on some Madrinas.
Absolutely. I'll get you 20% off. So there we go. The URL that it's trying to go to, I'm getting a 404, file not found. I can't find anything there. The other was Okay, so when I still try to go to that same location, all right, so now let's try these and see if this location actually responds. So if I replace this part, trying to use, I hate this. I'm looking for now the other side of this, but that, where'd my browser go that I was using? Right, I had a, darn it, where'd it go? I just had a browser open. Did I close it? I might have.
Maybe.
I think I did. Too many browsers.
You've had a lot of browsers open. I've been seeing a lot of browsers.
Oh, there it is. This one. So if I replace that, okay, that's saying resource not found either. So it doesn't matter what I give it; it can't find anything. All right. I hate to throw this in because this would have been so cool to just start iterating through those images and say, all right, here's what we found. Here's what the things are. Yeah. What if I point an image on the web? That's what we tried doing that earlier, and no, look at that. I crashed Visual Studio. We tried doing that earlier, and it wasn't coming back either. So, yeah, I broke it. I broke it good.
Oh, look at that! It's all. I just refreshed my stream, and because my internet spiked for a second, so I just refreshed and I come back to a grayed out window with that blue wheel. That's not a good looking wheel.
That's the circle of patience. You will wait while I spin. They've got a beach ball over on the Mac, and we've
circle of patience.
No. So I did try and go to a URL instead, like the question in the chat, and that wasn't working either. And trying to bounce off of, right now we've got two different sets of credentials because what we logged, right, what's reported over here is different from what's over here on the actual service we created. So I don't want to punt, man, but I feel like I've got to open an issue here and be like, okay, guys, this is broken.
Don't punt.
You know?
Yeah, no punting. Punting not allowed.
You know what I am going to do? Let's do this. I'm going to phone a friend. Can we do that? Can we phone a friend?
It's one of your 3 lifelines.
Okay. All right, we can do that.
I mean, I'm no Regis, but I'll say yes.
Right? No, wrong. Azure support. The cognitive services samples and samples. What's custom vision AI website and portal have different directions for how to integrate for C# developers. None of them are accurate and work. Please help.
Can I just say though real quick that like it's in these moments, because the last time when you did the sentiment analysis, I mean I don't want to say I don't want to say easy breezy, but it kind of, you really were like there was no real glitches. You just kind of jammed through it. It's probably in these moments with these little bits of adversity where you really have to put your problem solving hat on. It's probably in these moments where it's helpful for people, right? And also, hey, that's probably where the coffee comes in. You know what I mean? Yeah. We'll just get you caffeinated to help you problem solve.
And it gets you start to think different ways when you have a little bit of caffeine in you, right? You start to see things in a little bit different way. You get a little bit outside the box. Well, wait a sec. How about different approaches? And let's face it, folks like to learn from adversity, right? I
think that's human nature. I think failure and challenges create are allowed for creativity.
Yeah, right. So how do we track this down? How do we detect what's going on here? And certainly stepping through and trying to figure out, well, why isn't this hitting, right? And I could even change the program here. So instead of going through and doing this authentication, I have it go stop it from hitting Twitter altogether and just hit that image on disk. Let's call this let's call this Twitter main, and put together another. So these are what are called the entry points in an application. So whenever you have an application, whether it's C#, Java, you have some sort of an entry point, right? This is a console application. It runs on the command line, and you have some entry point. What's it look like? How does this thing start? And in .NET, we call it main, is what we call our method. And it's inside of a file typically called typically called program. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to short circuit this and just have it go right into the image identifier. And it doesn't matter what address I pass it. But I want it to directly call that identify Madrinas and see if we can get something to pop back. And it's not. Don't go off of Twitter. Now, maybe we can learn something a little bit here as we try and debug into this. I'm very much, Alex, doing trial and error here, right?
Of course.
Tweak something, does it work? Error. Tweak something else, does it work? Error. Another approach that somebody mentioned earlier was something called test-driven development. And what that means is instead of actually having to step through and us as humans look at this, let's write a test that we know the test is accurate and have that execute our code. And this is what we expect it to do, and have the test run as many times as we want and tell us very quickly, because let's face it, we're humans. It takes us a little bit to debug through here and say, well, what is this actually doing? Trying to investigate. Writing the test first will tell us when that test passes that we have it working properly. So maybe we can turn this around a little bit and have it do a little bit of that. I don't know. So, yeah. So they're talking about the different brews. The cold brew black. So I'm not a fan of black coffee, Alex. I'm sorry. That's
no, dude. What do you apologize, dude? It's a huge world of coffee, man. People drink it either bold and roasty, or they like it sweet and creamy.
So I had some of the cold brew black at around the holidays, and I had some leftover creamer, the peppermint mocha creamer. Mixing those two together. Oh my gosh.
So that's what I was kind of getting at earlier. The cold brew black is such a great base. Yeah. For how how some people at home like to church up their coffee with their own stuff, their own almond milk, their own stevia, whatever.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The cold brew black is the perfect base. One thing I love to do is I love to take the cold brew black, add in. I have this honey almond milk that I use, this honey flavored almond milk, which is really smooth.
Okay.
And then I add actually my own. So I add that to the cold brew black, and then I add in honey as well, just straight up honey.
Okay.
And I put that in the blender. And what happens is it all obviously blends together, but the honey itself gets all whipped up and makes like a nice like frothy kind of like head to it.
Oh wow!
And it's like it's like this honey cold brew toddy. God, it is really nice. But that's what you can do with our cold brew black. It's a great base for cocktails and that kind of stuff. Like they're your own little coffee cocktail that you're gonna make.
Oh, nice. Yeah, coffee cocktail.
NA. In the morning,
absolutely.
not alc in the morning, at least for me. Some folk, might get wild, but that's at least for me.
So, okay, last week, friends, if you saw last week, and I'm kind of trying to bide some time here. Maybe we get a response come back from some of our friends out here on Azure support. Can I send us links to the docs? Sure, I can. Sure, right. Let's see. These docs and the settings page on. Here we go. I'll go back over to here. We'll come back to that question in just a minute. And the Azure portal point to 3 different resource URLs. And none of them work. I can use the website. It's the Custom Vision AI website. Accurately. All right, let's see if they can help out with that. Anyways, certainly having the live indicator there that I am still live might help. So what we were saying, I'm sorry, before I stepped out there. Did I try turning it off again? No.
On this, you mean on this for solving this problem?
It was no. We were talking about coffee for a second.
Oh yeah,
and you were talking about
you can add to it, man. Like with cold brew black, like cold brew. You drink the vanilla cappuccino though.
I do, and my father-in-law does a thing where when he grinds coffee at his house to put into regular brew coffee maker, he'll throw cinnamon in there. So just straight from the cinnamon shaker, so it brews through the cinnamon also. Instead of trying to mix something after the fact, brewing it in, tremendous. I love the cinnamon with coffee flavor. It's light, it's not overbearing, and it's
cinnamon with coffee is really good.
Oh yeah.
There's a type of coffee that I've had called Cafe de Olla, and I'm pretty sure what it does. It's black coffee, and it gets kind of like I'm pretty sure it gets brewed with brown sugar and cinnamon, and it's just sweet from the get. It's amazing.
Very cool.
It's just a style. I think it's like a Mexican style of coffee. I think that's where it originated.
So there's a question here in the chat room from Cryosis asking, what's the resource ID on that webpage that it was on? So here's the thing. The resource ID, it doesn't ask for at all in the documentation. And the resource ID for this is David Baker Echo 1. And if I go back over here to this, the resource ID that shows up here, if I look at this one, well, it doesn't even have it. It doesn't even show it. There is no resource ID that's shown on this page at all. There's a key, and funny, it didn't blur out that key. And I don't see that, right? And that's certainly not the right, this 435. Thank you for the follow, Simplex. Look at the sections is what Cryosis is suggesting. So, all right, I tried grabbing that section and copying it in. So what if we grab this one, copy that in as this. Thank you for the follow, Banaj. Oh boy, I'm not going to pronounce that one. I try and stay a little family friendly here on the channel.
Always.
Right? There's something to be said for, especially when we're doing something that's trying to be a little educational. I want to make sure that everybody feels welcome, nobody feels intimidated, that type of thing. So if I try that GUID, and I'll try the other project name, that it was just like that. We'll try that one more time. Yeah, I'm grabbing at strings also, Cryosis. These things don't fit together as easily as it says in the documentation, and as it says on the websites. That's wrong. Not found. Right, and if I change the project name back to the project name that was specified on the page, I do have a resource group. Yep. Oh, you want me to go to the resource group and grab that ID? All right, we can do that. So a resource group in Azure is a collection of services. It's a way for us to group things together. Stop. There we go. It's a way for us to group things together. I was saying earlier, I use resource groups so that I know when I'm done a demo, here's everything related to this, so I can go delete it. Other things like that. So if I go to this, right, I'm gonna relog in, do all the things, handshake, and right, where's the ID here? So overview, I don't see an ID here. I see a subscription ID, right? I don't see an ID here somewhere. There's something. Is it that ID? I hate just grabbing at straws with this, but it's like, this ain't working. Something else might work. Yeah, bald bearded builder. Good point. Resource groups are great to isolate what you're working on, destroy them all when you're done, or when it comes time for billing, you have these in the same place, right? So I know these are all related services, so it's easier to group and say what's responsible. That's not working either. So, and it kills me that the resource ID isn't up here either. So it does say this is in South Central, like we requested. Key and the endpoint here, well, it flat out won't work the way that it's written with the n/, because the way it concatenates together is too many slashes. That's fine. Is Bosnischer Butzer? Is that so? I'm trying to pronounce the German properly. Bosnischer.
I thought that sounded good.
Butzer? A guy named Fritz. I better be able to pronounce my German. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, and when I look at the request, that URL, so that URL now looks like nothing that we've got anywhere else. Custom Vision 3.0 prediction, right? Here's the path here that it's specifying. That's not the path that's over here at all that it's trying to generate. It's trying to go to /subscriptions, blah, 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 resource groups, all this stuff. And that's not anywhere near what it's trying to put on the end of there. Hey, talk to me, Goose Man. Good to see you. Is it a DLL building the URL? Yeah.
You still suppose that it's just this one glitch, right?
I think it is. So, okay. We could go sledgehammer on this. And the other way to approach this is, what if we believe that this library is bad? What if we think, you know what? No, it doesn't. That doesn't work. What if we use the URLs directly, right? And literally wrote this by hand. Oh my gosh. Which is right. If I go references. Custom prediction API. Come on, tell me what those. Bingo. So what if I do this? And this is a little over the top. Not over the top, right? But this is like making your own axe that you're going to start swinging.
I love it.
Right? Because all of these things are on the web. It's just an address, and there's the address that it's trying to build. Endpoint, custom vision, 3.0 prediction, project ID, blah, 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 published name, image, question mark application. The name of the application using the endpoint. That's doesn't matter. The subscription key, which provides access, found in your profile.
Well, before you build the axe, did you try what Limegrove said?
What's Limegrove?
She said at this point, you just have to pour a can of coffee into the machine.
That's it. No, that's a bad idea. Totally bad idea. Don't do that. This might be a liquid cooled machine, but it's not. We're not putting coffee in there. It's a different type of liquid. Gosh. So this is what I'm looking for it to return, is to say the project, the iteration, and everything about it. And there used to be a test box on this. So if I go to, where was I? South Central US. Right? Here we go. Project ID. I don't care anymore. I'm going to copy these things right in. Who cares if I'm getting the keys out there and somebody can see them. So that published name, if I take the published name, which is this, which I don't think it is, right? I think it was just Madrinas. Application, yeah. And if we call this foo, I don't know. Header type, all right, so the prediction key is what it's telling me is over here, but I think that's the wrong key. I think I want this key, right? Which, of course, oh good, it's hiding. Request body. Okay, so what am I going to tell it? So this is literally putting this together by hand. I wanted the web address. I'm going to have to do this again, aren't Project ID, application, content type. So I had the key, the project ID. Let me copy that one more time. This. Because if I can get this to work, because this is using that endpoint directly that the library was trying to wrap, then I know the problem is that library. All right, so a URL that I want it to inspect. So I'm going to go back over here. Let's grab, oh my gosh, let's grab Post Malone's picture here. I'm going to grab just the image. Yes, copy that. Try and drop this in. So I want it to go and analyze that image. Send. And what's it going to tell me? It also is saying 404 not found. Okay.
Man.
Right? So, like, all right. Go back over here. So if that's the project name that it wants me to put, let's try that one. Still not found. Okay. I mean, that's the project ID right there, copied out. It's also the project ID up there. This is South Central US. I mean, if I try flipping it over to... What is this? Resource name, cognitive services, azure.com. No. It is endpoint stuff. The endpoint's the endpoint plus the documentation doesn't work.
Did they respond to your tweet?
Oh, good point. Let's go see. Right, see if there's so
many tabs.
Yeah.
So many tabs.
I'm live on Twitch and we're scrambling to find the appropriate URLs and keys. We can't get the REST endpoint to work. REST is the name of that web address at all. Can somebody do me a favor? Clip that last little bit where I was copying things in. We're going to grab that. And what I like to do, and it angers some of my colleagues, is we're going to drop that clip on them so they can see exactly what we pasted in here. And they can actually go and see that it's not working for us. And I'm actually pretty conservative with my browser tabs. There's other folks that I work with who will have literally hundreds open, so much so that when they shrink down like this, all you see is just the icons going across. I'm like,
what this isn't Chrome, crazy. Right?
No, I use Firefox.
Okay, that's much more friendly on RAM.
Yeah. Oh gosh,
if you had Chrome, your whole computer would just like stop. It would basically be the equivalent of pouring coffee into the machine.
Yeah. Oh, one doesn't jive too well with that. What I do like, if you try the new Edge, the new Microsoft Edge that comes with Windows 10, and I don't want to sound like a Microsoft shell, but for just a second, I do want to say it's been pretty good for me.
Right.
Because it's real easy to maintain multiple profiles and have just a profile that's automatically logged in with my work stuff, and be able to hit different things there. So I can actually, there's a way to configure this, and I haven't done it with this one, but there's a way you can configure it. So when you right click on Edge, you can choose the appropriate profile. So, I need to go do work stuff. Let me right click and go in, and it gets you already navigated, signed in with all your work stuff to the right place. Edgium, that's what you'll hear folks call it. Yeah, because it's Edge and Chromium, so Edgium is what they'll call it.
Edgium? Okay.
Yeah. But these URLs just don't make sense to me here, what we're getting for this. The project ID, that's sure what's over here. And if I do go back and I click on, right, even when I mouse over the project, it's that 43548. Right? That right there. Copy. And here, yeah, it's that same thing. This and this match. So that's a project ID. That should be right for there. But excuse me. Nowhere in here do I see it. Yeah. What do we think? Problem with Edge is the resources it eats up, says Winterlore Game. It's actually a little bit better. The old Edge wasn't as great, but the new one is much better. Try to use an image URL? Yeah, I did. It's right there. Right, this image is that picture of Post Malone. So, and we know that it identifies Madrinas in that image properly, but invalid iteration. I mean, is it because I only did the quick training? Right, so training images, performance predictions. When I did train, do I need to do the advanced training? No, don't do that. Do I have to publish like a knowledge base? Asks Talk to Me Gooseman. I didn't think so. There's no publish button here. So I don't see that. Training images tagged. Create a project. Yeah, I'm all set. The model's built. Use the prediction API. It's all ready to go. Publish.
You should just be reading the URL, right?
Yeah. Right? Why am I not getting anything here? Using the logo domain. Hang on. Did we miss? So, why don't I have a, right, finish training iteration ID, performance per tag, okay. It's not telling me anything about this. Only iterations trained using a compact domain can be exported. Publish this iteration. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Sure, we'll put it over with that other one. Prediction URL. Are you kidding? If I have an image URL, this is where I want to go. This are you? Oh man, don't do this to me.
What happened?
So it sure looks like there's a publish option that we completely missed in here, and it, when we were over on the settings, there was a thing. Yeah, now this isn't loading at all. Yeah, now
there's a URL, and then there's a URL that's supposed to be like a direct, like a redirect, or like a different style of URL that's just for pointing.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Why would the first one not work though?
I know.
You know. Shouldn't functionally the first one be? Why would there be a published one?
Right.
Is it a routing issue?
It feels misleading, right? Because what it was saying in the one, right, and set the key to this. Okay. And let me remove those. Get rid of this. Like, I wasn't missing something, I don't think. I don't need that. I don't need that bit. Don't need this down.
When you take the whole text like that,
yeah,
and you highlighted a big like 4 lines or whatever, and then you moved it up or you indented it. Is that just like holding down Control and using the arrows?
Shift Tab, right? When I highlight a whole bunch here and I move it back and forth, that's just Tab.
That's just Tab. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And
what about when you move it up?
When I move stuff up, check this out, right? That's Alt up and down.
That's Alt up and down. Okay, cool. Yeah, that was nifty.
That also works in Visual Studio Code. So when people are writing like Markdown, so they write that rich text that you want to generate, that works over there as well. Those keystrokes. Okay, so set the prediction key. So that's the URL. I think that's right. Let's give it a shot. See what happens. I need that image URL. Let me go back. And let's drop in that Post Malone URL. Oh, I navigated away. There it is. All right, here we go. Please tell me we have it this time. Using VS Code now, so satisfying, says Shlomo. It is really good. The folks who make Visual Studio Code have done a tremendous job. It's small, it's easy for anybody to install on any operating system, and you can customize it to the nines. No, that still doesn't work either. Not found. So get rid of that window. No. I'm public. Okay, so we said got it. Head back to this. So it's telling me that's the key, that's the endpoint. So if I use that endpoint, now that there is something published, come on, man, come on, you're making me look silly here.
Hey, listen, man, I don't think so. I think this is just part of everybody goes through. You know what I mean?
It shouldn't
like
be.
Here's the deal. I don't know these programs very well, but I know Adobe pretty well. Like Illustrator, Photoshop.
I'm terrible with Adobe.
You're not well versed with those?
Oh my gosh, no. Oh my gosh.
Like here's the deal. Like you run into problems all the time, and you sometimes feel stuck.
Yes.
But I mean, once you get over it, then you forever have that information of whatever the problem was. And I think this is like part of the process. You know, that no one does things right. You know what I mean? Like with these softwares, they're so sophisticated that you gotta there's so much nuance and there's so many little tips and tricks that you can learn.
There is, and what's difficult is when some of that information becomes right. We call that tribal knowledge, right? You kind of pass it down by word of mouth.
Right. Oh yeah.
It's how do you hand that off to the next person so that they don't go through the process, right?
Oh yeah, that's huge.
Oh my gosh, yes. So I'm gonna go back.
I think we're the only species on the planet that does that sort of community learning. Helps better. That's what we better. I think actually, you know what? I think octopuses do too.
Really?
I know something about that. Which is crazy. I don't know, but man, that's the benefit of humans. We do it for sure. I don't know about octopuses. I think I heard something about they're able to. Unsure though.
So I think that image URL is. Oh wait! Look at this. Detect iterations. Iteration 2/URL. Look at that at the end of that son of a gun. And the URL this is trying to go to is here it is. The request address. Detect iterations and Madrinas URL. It's going to the wrong location. It should be going to iteration 2. So the project.
Did you
go ahead?
Well, I was just gonna say, did you just find the solution?
It may be in looking at what it's calling. Yeah, detroubled. I think the published name and the project name are two different things here. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Holy crap! We got it!
Yes.
All right.
Victory.
So we got a lot of feedback for these folks. Published name is not project name. They're two different things.
Is this what the top of the mountain feels like?
It is. Right? Is this we're halfway up to the tippity top? Is that what he says? Our friend in red and black.
We're whatever it is, something about being up top and only halfway there.
Yeah. Dude, perfect. Yeah, right. Okay. So we have it analyzing the Post Malone picture, and it found 3 places where it could be Madrinas, and one of them is at, and there's that's the location inside of the image, right? We need to figure out exactly how to break that up, but at 92%, it thinks Madrinas is at this location. I think it's X, Y, and then height, width, I think are the coordinates. So, but we can pull that apart then, right? So the probability, left, top, yeah. And the width and height, is that width? Why is that a decimal? Is that percentage across or something? Let's go back over here. So the last thing that I wanted to do, but to kind of unleash the Kraken here, was going to be let it take a look at all the images that were recently posted, and we'll call it there. We'll wrap up the source code that we have and figure out how to turn that into a cool dashboard as a secondary visit here. So the width and the height, what are those? You're not going to show me this, are you? No. Way to go. These buttons don't work either. Okay. Terrific. Thanks so much. Did my network just go? No, we're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You mean like your internet?
Yeah, I was like,
No, you're here.
nothing's responding when I click around here. What happened? Predictions. So I'm looking at so the coordinate of the left boundary, but I got a 0 point decimal number there for left and top and width and height. That can't be right. It's got to be like a percentage across. Yeah, the returned values, Cryosis, it's not clear to me what exactly those are. Well, I don't have the raw JSON coming out of this. Right, if I put a breakpoint right here, right, so here's the predictions that have been returned. So we have a bounding box, and see, we have percentage, decimals. Those decimal numbers are, what are they? The web page tells you that those are coordinates. That's why I'm looking at that going, that's not right either. The documentation for that isn't right. So, no, that's, where did I have the documentation? There's got to be, yeah, it just says the bounding box is a number. Yeah. I don't know what to say about that one. It's 0.8. It's 0.2. But no way is that the actual size of the image going across, right? 0.274, 0.28, 0.29, and 0.14. Those aren't right at all. Those aren't pixels across.
What are they?
I don't know. And it doesn't feel right that those would be a percentage either. A percentage of the width of the object.
Is it trying to? Is it like a bounding box?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So it's left. So distance from the left.
The corners. It's like the four corners.
Not quite. It's the distance from the left, the distance from the top, and then I think it's the width and then the height.
Oh,
but
okay.
as decimals like that, when we know it's a 900 by 900 image, 900 pixels by 900 pixels, is it image scale? Is a question from the chat room. That could be also. But that doesn't. I don't know. 0 to 1 and blow it up to the size. I mean, why wouldn't you just give us the pixel location instead of that? Right? I mean, you've done the work.
Are there no There's no labels. They don't have like a, hey, here's what this value is. You know what I mean? Like, there's no key.
That's what I thought. Looking over here at the schema, right? The definition of it. It says left. It's a floating number, and it's the coordinate of the left boundary. That's not a coordinate. Yeah, I agree, Cryosis. It's a percentage of, I'm guessing, the width or the height. But you're doing a lot of extra work to calculate it. That's what Shlomo, I think it's the ratio, a percentage of the height. Let's do this. We've got it actually detecting and pushing through that image URL. Let me go back over here and let me I want to actually see this do the analysis against the real tweets that are out there. So I'm actually going to tell this to do that, and we should see it now run against the actual images that are out there and give us a little bit. Nah, it's not in EMs. I can't imagine it's in EMs. It's not a web page where we would have EMs to be able to measure against. So we could write a test case and actually multiply it out by the size of it. So here's some sentiment percentage, and we'll have it do, there we go. And I'll turn off that, the breakpoints, and we should see it report out. Here we go. So here's some of our images, and it should pause right at the end. Invalid status code. What did it? I don't care. So here's some of the images that it found. So here's wish I had coffee for fuel, and this was that image with the gentleman drinking the Mountain Dew, and it thinks it found Madrinas in 2 different places, and we know that's wrong. Another week begins, another chance to take down the Palace of the Dead solo in Gunbreaker, and there's a really good chance that it found Madrinas in this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. In that tweet, all it says is another week begins, another chance to take down Palace of the Dead solo and Gunbreaker?
Yep. And the sentiment on that is it's saying 0.3%.
Oh, did it pull that because of the hashtag coffee for fuel?
That was what we were searching for, but this
Got
right
it,
here,
okay.
I bet, is what triggered it to say, well, that's not good sentiment.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right, so if I do twitter.com, I'll search for that coffee for fuel, so we can kind of see the actual tweets next to what we found. Right, so there's Pac-Man Jr. Here it is. So this one is saying, right,
there it is,
that it found Madrinas in there. There is, I don't see Madrinas in that picture at all, because that's from a game. So, right, these are the types of things we need to retrain. The next one, hitting week 3 of social distancing, and it pulled back an image video, and it thinks it found some in there, and it probably sees it on her shirt.
Oh, she had the can.
Yeah. So it's at 57%, so that's pretty good. Yep. Time to fuel up. There was code. Use code DIVA. Where's this one? Right, this is after video game diva. No, I'm looking for the code diva one. Don't see that one. This one is sipping on Madrinas. Time to fuel up. I don't see the next one. Oh, no. Use code DIVA. There we go. So that one was her up here. Yep. And, yeah, 66.51%. It found her in there. So, time to fuel up. Don't think it hit that one. No.
Which one? It said this one? This one from BB.
Yeah, I'm trying to decipher what was written here.
Oh, okay.
Right. Here. Yeah, this one. Time to fuel up. And this one, it found 94%. It found the product in there, and it's If those are percentages, right? If that's left and from the top, so if it's 30% over, yeah, that's 30% over, and
yep. From the bottom, 0% because it's right there.
The full height, so it goes all the way, right? So that's from the top, and then that's the height. So if it is 0% from the top and 100% height, right, and about 60% of the width, yeah, it found it. So okay, we can train this to be a little bit better, but Winter Lore Games does ask a good question. Did it retrieve her video here? That is a video.
Or a thumbnail.
Yeah, that's a good point. Was it a thumbnail? Maybe there was a thumbnail it grabbed. But it definitely thinks it was in there. So we're definitely at the beginnings of this and figuring out, getting this to work. But it's really cool.
So you're not, yeah, I didn't know. It's really cool, and you're no longer experiencing any snags right now. At this point,
we got
it's
past
just
the snags. Mm-hmm.
At this point, it's just teach it and make it smarter.
Make it smarter, absolutely. So, and we can do that by going back to this webpage and clicking through and adding some new images to train against, and point it to the appropriate things. Tell it this isn't Madrinas. Tell it some of those other things that it thinks are. Tell it that it isn't. Some of the other pictures of folks, bring those in, and we can retrain it and make it more accurate as it looks at and tries to predict.
Right.
I look at this technology, and Alex, you were saying it earlier. This is really interesting stuff. The value that you can get out of this to ensure. I mean, we're just doing a little bit of thing here to say where do we see product. But if you actually let this loose on other things that folks were talking about, if just do a search on a coffee hashtag and see if people were talking about coffee and showing the product, you'd actually be able to have a little bit of accuracy on that as well.
Well,
if it was properly trained.
The wealth of information that marketers have access to. The problem is that you can't just sift through it manually, so you only have the option to build tools.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And
hammer it quickly like this. Let the machine do the work. So, what I'm going to do before I go any further and before I screw up my my keys any further here, I'm going to regenerate that key. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Actually, there is no regenerate key button here, is there? Are you kidding? I can't regenerate that key.
And guys, if you are tuning in and you haven't heard me say hi at any given point, I'm Alex. I'm with Madrinas Coffee, the very proud coffee partner of Fritz and this amazing community. Guys, we're giving away some coffee today. We're giving away some Madrinas, so make sure you sign up. We have a link floating around. You can get 100% off Madrinas Coffee if you enter and you win. Nice. But if you don't like the odds of winning and you want a guaranteed shipment of coffee, you can always go to madrinascoffee.com and enter discount code Fritz for 20% off your entire order. We'll send it right to you.
There you go. And yeah, I've got to fix the coffee command there. That was the old discount, but we will make sure going forward it has the right numbers in there. Thank you so much. I'm going to save off this source code, clean it up a little bit, send some feedback back to our friends on how we were struggling getting this working, and we'll get ready for some. I'll save the source code out and get ready to tune it a little bit. Maybe we can figure out how to train it with some better images here, and if some of your folks want to be able to use this, hammer around and do some search and identify a product out there on Twitter, we can hook them up with
amazing,
the
man.
application. That's
so cool, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you for building this.
Not a problem.
This has been awesome. I unfortunately have to run now.
We kept you a little bit longer than we expected, and I certainly have to go as well.
Oh, do you? Okay, no, like 30 minutes, 2 hours and 30 minutes. It doesn't matter to me. I just, you know what I mean? Whatever, however much it takes to hang with you and watch the project, get done. I just have a blast learning.
Cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Alex. And I'll talk to you soon.
Heck yeah, man. Thank you so much. And guys, thank you for letting me hang out. Thank you for letting Schlo hang out. Remember, one last time, enter the giveaway. We wanna send some free coffee to some of you guys.
Absolutely. And
you can always use discount code Fritz at checkout for 20% off. Fritz is a partner of ours, and like I said, we're so proud to be working with him and with all you guys here. All right, my man. Thank you so much.
Catch you later.
Have a great Monday.
You too.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right. It's interesting to be able to pull something like that together. I love being able to show tools that are very focused and to the point. And I love how well put together the front end for this website is. But it's clear that, right, for new folks that are coming in, you need to finish and say publish. You need to actually say publish on these things before you can make things happen. And it's interesting to me that wasn't at the bottom of this. And when we got over here to the gears, project name doesn't match what's in the source code for the library. It's a good bit of feedback that we're going to share with the project team. Now that we know how it's supposed to work, these labels, I think, can be cleared up easily. Thank you, Alex. Look at that. We saw the coffee emotes go flying over the screen. Very cool stuff. So, you're right. The Bald Bearded Builder is spot on here. Being able to show folks some of what's possible with big cloud services like Azure and being able to use this. There's similar services on all the clouds. This is what we have on Azure, and being able to get into this quickly and easily is, to me, it's compelling. We're going to offer some feedback to try and clean up some of the documentation. Maybe we can get some help, some information buttons next to each one of these. What I struggle with is each one of these labels is not the same label that's on the Azure portal or in the documentation. And there's like label drift that happens on these things that aren't quite the same. So, and Shlomo was asking me when we were speaking the other day, hey, is there a way that you can do this? You're learning Python or something like, I think it was Python you were learning, Python or Java? You should be able to get libraries here that'll help you with being able to use your favorite programming language with these. If I go back up to, I think it's going to be under documentation. There were links out to quick starts. There we go. Python, Java. It works with all of them because it's just a web endpoint that you're bouncing off of. So, thank you, Shlomo. Very kind words. As I try to wrap up here. So I'm going to try and clear that key out from my cognitive services and get some of those IDs reset so that we don't have too much doxing leaking out there, and see if we can do some work to clean up the source code here. I want to turn this into a service so that you can just hit it and say, hey, show me for the last 2-3 days. Here's the tweets, here's what we found, here's the images, and here's what we found in those images. And maybe we can even draw some boxes on those to make it clear about that. Maybe that's another thing that needs to be more clear on the front end. Absolutely. We will be sending some of that information through to the folks on Azure. You're spot on, Cryosis. Friends, this has been a pretty cool session today. I really enjoy taking some time, writing some code with you. I'm not going to commit the source code yet. I want to get some of those keys out of there, get them moved around to safe places, and get some of them reset. Let me set up a raid. Let me connect you with our next streamer, somebody else who's streaming out on Twitch, somebody else who's talking about software. Make sure I force that git push. No, we're not going to go quite that far. Let me see. It's Monday morning. I don't typically broadcast on Monday morning. Let's see if we can find somebody, maybe another live coder, maybe somebody that we can raid that would be fun. Let's raid. You know what? Codephobia is over there working on native script in Angular. Let's set up a raid for Codephobia. They're another member of the Live Coders team. And I hope you check them out, learn a little bit more about web development, building some Angular tools. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. We're going to be continuing Minimal March. We'll talk a little bit more about Blazor. And I'll have some wrap up on how this turned out after I talk to some folks. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.